tuning to Audit Channel, and thanks to my producer for placing me under the hot sun to provide a coverage on Lehman Brothers. On 15 September 2008, American investment bank Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy with more than $619 billion in debts and $639 billion in assets. The Wall Street institution, which has been in business for 150 years and survived the Great Depression, was the most high-profile bankruptcy casualties in US history, and its bankruptcy has definitely shocked the world and widely affected the global financial market. On 15 September 2008, Lehman announced it will file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, citing bank debt of $613 billion, $155 billion in bond debt, and assets worth $639 billion. On March 11, 2010, a court-appointed examiner revealed that Lehman Brothers used an accounting procedure termed Repo 105 to temporarily exchange $50 billion of assets into cash just before publishing its financial statements involving Ernst & Young and the former Lehman Brothers CEO. Now, to know more about the accounting failure at Lehman Brothers, let's head to SIM to find out more from accounting lecturer Mr. Cheng. Reporting live from SIM, my twin sister. Thank you. Now we are here with Mr. Cheng to talk about the accounting failure of Lehman Brothers.
It's Dr. Cheng. Anyway, before its collapse in 2008, investment banking giant Lehman Brothers participated heavily in what is widely understood to be accounting trickery in order to deceive the investing public about its financial position. And according to the bankruptcy court examiner of Lehman Brothers was cooking the books far more than people ever imagined. To perform this accounting trickery, Lehman Brothers took advantage of a loophole regarding repurchase agreements, or more commonly known as a repo. This gimmick was known as Repo 105 inside of Lehman. In an ordinary repo transaction, Lehman would raise cash by selling its assets with a promise to buy them back at a later date. Repos are a common form of short-term financing, and because it was a financing and not a sale, the assets remain on Lehman's balance sheet. However, in a Repo 105, Lehman would treat the transaction as a genuine sale and take the risky assets off his financial statements. Apparently, accounting rule permitted this because the assets valued at 105% of more of the cash received. Using Repo 105, Lehman managed to hide over $50 billion in loans disguised as sales. This also effectively reduced their leverage, making them look less reliant on debt than they actually were.
Here I have with me now is a corporate analyst from KPMG to talk about the corporate governance failure of Lehman Brothers.
One of the major corporate governance failure that was faced during the whole fiasco of Lehman Brothers incident is the risk management model used by the Lehman Brothers Holdings, which causes a lot of questioning on their decision at a point in time. The board and the management of Lehman Brothers Holdings started to adopt a high-risk taking business strategy involving subprime mortgage lending and collateralized debts. Subprime mortgage crisis was eventually the major cause of the fall of Lehman Brothers Holdings. The understanding of the high-risk taking business strategy involved in a financial instrument like subprime mortgage was insufficient, and there were a lack of appropriate control procedure to lessen those risks. The board of directors of Lehman Brothers had not asked a question to the management about why they has decided on this particular strategy and the model used to calculate those risks. It clearly has shown the board's supervision of issues relating to the risk has to be strengthened. The board should have a combination of directors with different skills, for example like technical knowledge of risk relating to issues, and they would have helped to identify the red flags much earlier, allowing an organization to take appropriate actions to overcome the risk involved.
Now we are walking over to Ernst & Young to find an associate to explain to us the audit failure of Lehman Brothers.
Lehman Brothers, I know. Right? We Singaporeans, right? We know money, right? We go Orchard, right? And most we do is what? Window shopping, right? Lehman Brothers, right? Went to do window dressing. Like, you know, US money easier to earn, right? But you got see people bite the hand that means no. No, right? Ernst & Young has been the auditor for Lehman Brothers since 2001 until it went bankrupt in 2008. So there's familiarity thread. Then apart from that, right, because they pay us USD like $105 million. So there's self-interest thread lah. They give us what, we sign what. They happy, we also happy. Right? Then after everything got out of control, the economy meltdown lah, like shares dried up. Then thousands lost their job, more regulations. Yeah.
So now, we just heard a first-hand story of the consequences caused by an audit failure. To conclude our individual views, The fall of Lehman Brothers was a preventable man-made disaster. Relations with top banks of United States also led to loss of business due to overconfidence of their financial assets. And after a big debt of $639 billion, when Lehman asked Barclays and Bank of America for acquisition, they simply rejected the offer. Mr. Fo's ego, as well as poor management insight, took a better part of him.
Part of accounting failure, the main failure of accounting was the fact that fraudulent accounting tactics in the form of Repo 105 was employed to deceive the public. Because it was done on such a huge scale, it was considered one of the major accounting failures of all time.
The conclusion for corporate governance failure that we have identified is the high-risk management strategy that Lehman Brothers has adopted. This can be prevented by having directors with risk management experience on board to flag out the potential threats earlier.
Okay. As we can see from Lehman's case, right, auditors' threats to independence should never be ignored.
Thank you for watching our video. We have spent a lot of effort and time to produce this video. Through this video making process, we have learned a great deal on auditing. 1, 2, 3.